Before we dive in here, just gonna give you some confirmation. No, the sky has not fallen. No, the world has not ended. Harry and Meghan have indeed brought their 2 children to the UK, and they have met with King Charles and Queen Camilla, as an earlier version of this headline included. Yes, the narrative that has been unfolding for the past almost month at this point, if we are to believe the reports that Prince William was incandescent with rage, being told that Harry and Meghan were bringing the kids this summer at Trooping the Colour. That's almost a month now, so it's nice to see part of this come to fruition, even if there have been a few roadblocks along the way. Yes, BBC is reporting that Harry and Meghan visited with the king, brought their 2 children even, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, at Highgrove House this afternoon. I can hear the keyboard warriors warming up now. Well, I hope they checked Meghan for a microphone before they went in. Can't wait to hear all the details once the Sussexes leak them. Buckingham Palace is the reason we know that this meeting took place. I just want us to take that in for a minute. And listen, I'm not saying that's shady. I'm not saying this even constitutes a leak. What has most likely occurred is the BBC and every other news outlet with an eye on this story has probably been calling their sources within the palace, within Harry and Meghan's team, all week long, asking, is a meeting in the works? Has a meeting happened? What's the likelihood? Where are Meghan and the kids? Buckingham Palace decided to give a confirmation that a meeting did take place on Friday. It is still being described as a private family occasion, which Chris Shipp, I believe, interpreted as there will be no photos released from the meeting. So don't expect a repeat of this moment when Meghan and Harry introduced baby Archie to the late Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. I have the front page of one of the newspapers from when this happened. It is one of my most prized royal possessions. But it is significant that this visit took place because Archie, though he was born in the UK, has only interacted with his grandfather, King Charles, a handful of times. And Princess Lilibet reportedly has only met her grandfather, King, one time, and that was during her first birthday celebration that happened to coincide with the Queen's Platinum Jubilee in 2022. So in terms of forging a lasting relationship with grandparents and grandchildren, that is not a strong start. Was reported in the past week, and I don't know if I believe this at all, but it was said that Archie and Lilibet don't really have an understanding of the fact that their grandfather is a king. I don't think Harry and Meghan are going around briefing on that. I think that is just like speculation from their circles, or Charles's circles, trying to get some sympathy. I have been told that both father and son wanted to meet this week, and the king was keen to make time to see his 2 young grandchildren. Making time. It is possible. And some would say necessary when you have a high-profile job. Again, sources are saying that the BBC likely would not print this unless they were sure that those sources at least believed that what they were saying was accurate. What I want you to watch out for this week, however, is any reporting about what went on in this meeting coming from palace aides or palace sources. Because remember, we're told this was a private family occasion, so Buckingham Palace will not be commenting on this as an institution. But you can bet your bottom dollar that people who work within the palace will be talking about it to anyone who will give them the time of day. Because earlier this week, they were briefing that they didn't trust Harry to be alone with the king. They were formulating like extraction plans for Charles. If Harry said something that would put the king in an uncomfortable position, they were going to come up and be like, oh, sir, you have an important meeting. The prime minister is calling, even though the UK doesn't currently have a prime minister. That's how it goes in my head anyway. It's like I told OK Magazine this week, each camp is trying to lock in a narrative. That's why you have the conflicting briefings over palace accommodation, over Harry's court case and the loss of that this week. I am sure we will see actual leaks and briefings from both sides, the palace and Harry and Meghan's camp, trying to color how this visit went for the public. I think that makes sense. There will be people within the palace who feel neutrally about this. There will be people within the palace who think that this was a travesty, which is why I reassured you at the beginning, the sky is not falling. A father and a son reconciled. The son brought the grandchildren to see the father because he says he doesn't know how long his father has to live. And I don't think that is revealing too much about Charles' possible prognosis. I think that's just Harry saying, no one tells me shit. So at this point, that's everything that we have confirmed. They met with the king, and we will not be getting official photos. Be wary of anything else you see after this point. especially snappy headlines like this one, which did come out at the end of June. Now, I have to bear some responsibility for this because not one, but at least 3 Page 6 articles used quotes from me to form these headlines. Let me tell you quick what I said and how it got extrapolated into something that would make you click on the story so that you can sort of see what I'm talking about. So this was, I think, like a week after the speculation began that Harry was going to bring the kids to see Charles. I was asked a bunch of questions by Page 6. Very grateful for the opportunity. Thank you. And this is not shade at the writers here at all. But we know how this headline and clickbait game works at this point, or at least I hope we do. We gotta up the stakes. So I was asked, if Meghan were to come to the UK, and if she were to be with Harry when he meets with his father, how would that influence things? How would that impact things? And what would that suggest about the relationship? And then I'm sure there are multiple people getting asked that all over the place. We, as royal experts and commentators, not that I consider myself an expert, I just do really see it as my duty, since I have this platform, to inject some context and common sense into these narratives and spaces. Because what I then said was, well, first of all, there has been no suggestion at this point that Meghan is a key player here. Everything indicates that the issues are between Harry and his family. But if she were to go with him, then that could suggest that there are efforts to reconcile the Sussex family as a whole with the UK side of Harry's family. That turned into how Meghan Markle's presence changes the stakes. I was then asked, well, what about the kids? Is there a possibility that Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet will meet with their cousins, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, Prince Louis? And to that I said, again, we have not heard that nobody is talking about that. That is not something being floated at the moment. And if I had to guess, this was my mistake, I'm sorry, just based on summer schedules, at that time, the kids were still in school. I said it would be a logistical nightmare to try and make that happen with the kids. The security was still up in the air for Archie and Lilibet. The kids on the other side, George, Charlotte, and Louis, were going into their summer holidays. And royal engagements, we are always told, are decided months in advance. And William and Kate at that time were ramping up their summer schedule. There's been a lot of discussion of Kate getting back to normal. We've seen her do the 3 Peaks Challenge. We've seen her do Wimbledon now. And today, just today, as this meeting between Harry and Charles was taking place, these two were out at a polo match. So safe to say they were not at Highgrove because we saw them somewhere else. So all of that context that I gave was turned into why Prince Harry and Meghan's children won't reunite with royal cousins. Okay, then the last one. This one I feel bad about. I should not have said words this forceful as unforgivable betrayal. But then I was asked, well, what about William? Is Harry seeking just to reunite with his father, or is he interested in meeting with his brother at this time? And I said, again, we have not heard that. Nobody is suggesting that. All sources point to the fact that this was focused on getting Charles to meet the grandkids. I said it's William who in some ways would be the holdout there because he is the one who views what Harry did as an unforgivable betrayal. And by that I meant breaking away, doing interviews, going on podcasts, writing a book. All of that would play into any meeting between the two, which again is why we probably haven't heard that that is in the works at this point. And that got turned into how Prince Harry's reunion with Charles will impact his strained Prince William relationship after unforgivable betrayal. Of hinting at the fact that what Harry did was actually an unforgivable betrayal. That is not what I said at all. Rather, I was saying, and I think this is fair to say, William views what his brother did as an unforgivable betrayal. The one thing the royals don't want you to do if you are within the fold is open your mouth. Reveal too much. I mean, just look at the way that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is still protected. He's on royal property. He has protection officers. Harry didn't get security for this visit, y'all. And he was not friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Anyway, let's just focus on the fact that 2 grandchildren did get to meet with their grandfather, who happens to be a king today. And no stars, as far as I can tell, fell out of the heavens. But yeah, and Queen Camilla was apparently there too, but you have to get around paywalls to find that part out.
Hello, squaddies. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's take a quick into this. The ordinary vibes were exactly what made this whole reunion story a total masterclass. And it really makes you ask the big question, why does the idea of reconciliation make some people so incredibly uncomfortable? Think about the hypocrisy for a second. For years, these talking heads and tabloid writers have been screaming from the rooftops. They need to fix this. Harry needs to reconcile with his family. But the second actual reports drop showing that things are finally chilling out and moving in a peaceful direction, those exact same voices start hating on it. They immediately shift the goalposts and find something new to criticize. It tells you everything you need to know about the media circus. These commentators aren't actually rooting for family healing, they are deeply invested in the beef. Conflict pays their bills, peace doesn't get clicks, but drama buys them a new car. They are absolutely terrified of a world where Harry is at peace with his folks because it ruins their entire hustle. We all know people like this in the real world. They'll look you dead in the eye and say, "Oh, you really need to go patch things up with your people." Then the moment you actually swallow your pride, make the move and smooth things over, they look almost disappointed. They're mad they don't have any fresh gossip to chew on over text. Harry showed up, took the high road, and proved he's willing to do the real work for his family. And the fact that it's making the haters sweat just proves he's winning. They wanted an endless war, but Harry is out here choosing peace, and it is completely breaking their brains. The media spent weeks trying to sell us front-page tickets to a straight-up Marvel movie, but the actual reality? Surprisingly, totally ordinary. The tabloids were hyping up this reunion like it was going to be a massive, world-ending explosion of royal beef. But instead, Harry pulled up, they had a quiet family gathering, and the big, dramatic fireworks never happened. The press is absolutely sick. Let's keep it 100. The funniest part of this whole thing is how hilariously wrong the UK media got it. They had their trashy headlines locked, loaded, and ready to scream about total chaos. Instead, people just sat down, grabbed a cup of tea, and spent some normal time together. Harry completely starved the cameras of the messy reality TV show they were desperate to broadcast. He handled it like a total pro, keeping it low-key and showing pure maturity. Honestly, we have all seen this exact same script play out in our own neighborhoods. Think about it on a street level. Two relatives haven't spoken in years, right? Suddenly, every nosy neighbor and random cousin on the block becomes a certified expert on the drama. They're all whispering, "Oh, they'll never forgive each other," or "Just wait, they're going to start swinging at the next family barbecue." Then the day finally comes, the two people actually meet up in the living room, and literally nothing dramatic happens. They just have a normal conversation, because guess what? People grow up. Harry showed that exact growth, completely deflating the media's multi-million-dollar hype machine by just being a normal guy showing up for his folks without the extra theatrics. So I gotta ask you guys, did the media completely overcomplicate something that, at its absolute heart, was just basic family stuff? Because you know these tabloid editors are crying in their offices right now because they couldn't turn a private moment into cheap clickbait. Let's be real about the biggest flex of the whole weekend, the total and utter silence. Harry and Meghan keeping this entire story locked down in private was hands down the ultimate sign of respect. No leaked photos, no performative balcony moments, and absolutely zero camera crews tracking every single hug. Just pure, unadulterated privacy. And honestly, it completely broke the media's brains. Think about the absolute chess move Harry and Meghan just pulled off. The tabloids were literally foaming at the mouth, waiting to monetize their every breath. They wanted the awkward high-definition photos, the lip-reader breakdown of what was whispered, and the body language experts guessing if a handshake was too stiff. Instead, they got absolutely nothing, a total media blackout. Let's break this down. When you're actually trying to fix things with your people after a messy fallout, you don't bring a camera crew to the living room, you don't live stream the apology on Instagram, and you don't invite the nosy neighbors to sit on the couch and take notes. If you're doing all that, you're not trying to heal, you're just clout chasing. By shutting the doors and keeping the cameras out, Harry and Meghan proved their intentions were 100% pure. They protected the family and they protected their own peace. They treated a real-life situation like real-life human beings, not like a storyline for a cheap reality TV show. The press wants to spin the privacy as some kind of snub, but that's just because they're mad they couldn't make a dime off it. Keeping it low-key wasn't a snub. It was a masterclass in maturity. They gave the media absolute zero to twist, and you just have to respect the hustle.
Can we just state the absolute obvious for a hot second? Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet do not give a single care about royal protocol, palace drama, or who is sitting on what throne. They are literally toddlers. These kids just deserve to hang out with their granddad and figure out exactly who they are without a million cameras stuffed in their faces. Let's keep it entirely real. The tabloids act like these two babies are sitting in California, reading the UK front pages, plotting out geopolitical chess moves. It is hilarious. Archie and Lilibet are probably thinking about juice boxes, playing tag, and watching cartoons. They don't know anything about institutional beef or media spin. Family drama gets incredibly messy. Grown-ups fall out, people stop talking, and sides get taken. It happens on every block. But out here in the real world, you don't punish the grandbabies for the adult nonsense. Kids have a right to know their roots. They deserve to get spoiled by their granddad, hear his silly stories, and just vibe as a family. Harry and Meghan protecting their kids from the toxic media circus while still opening the door for real human connection, that is elite parenting. They are drawing a hard line in the sand, saying the drama stops with us. Our babies just get to be babies. The press wants to turn a grandfather seeing his grandkids into some massive political summit. It's not that deep. It's just a family being a family, and those kids deserve that peace of mind. Let the kids be kids, period. If this whole situation proved absolutely anything, it's the massive night and day difference between internet headlines and actual real life. The internet is completely addicted to chaos. It lives for the mess. But out here in the real world, real life is usually a whole lot quieter, and people seriously need to stop hunting for drama in everybody's lives, because peace is the ultimate goal, period. Let's look at how the media machine operates. If you scroll through your feed, the algorithms want you to believe everyone is constantly at war. They paint this picture of endless shouting matches, broken families, and permanent grudges. Why? Because rage bait gets clicks, and clicks pay for their expensive office coffee. They wanted this whole situation to be a toxic battleground. But when the cameras shut off and the smartphones go away, reality hits different. People actually sit down, they talk, they breathe, they clear the air. It's not loud, it's not flashy, and it doesn't make for a viral tweet, but it's real. We all know that one person on the block or in the group chat who is constantly looking for a fight. They are always trying to stir the pot, bringing up old history and trying to keep the beef alive. It is exhausting, and honestly, it's just sad. Grown-up life is hard enough without manufacturing extra problems. Harry choosing to keep things quiet and focus on resolution completely starved the drama hounds. It proves that you don't have to participate in the circus just because people bought tickets. At some point, you've got to grow up, shut out the noise and protect your mental space. Stop toxic hunting for problems where they don't exist. Peace wins every single time. Look, strip away the fancy titles, the giant palaces, and all that royal branding. At the end of the day, this right here is a story that every single family out there on the block completely comprehends. Because beneath the global headlines, it's just about human beings trying to navigate real-life dynamics. And you already know we are rocking with the Sussex family heavy. We root for them all day, every day, and straight up, no weapon formed against them shall prosper. Let's keep it 100. The tabloids want to frame Harry and Meghan's life like it's some alien concept that regular folks can't grasp. They make every single move look like a calculated political chess match. But if you take away the cameras and the media circus, it's the same old stuff every regular family deals with. We all know how it goes on a street level. You've got boundaries to set, you've got toxic outside noise, you've got to block out to protect your kids, you've got people who don't want to see you win, trying to stir up mess at the family barbecue. It happens in every neighbourhood. What Harry and Meghan are doing isn't some wild royal rebellion, it's just elite boundary setting. They chose peace over drama. They chose to protect their peace, raise their babies away from the toxicity, and stay completely true to each other. That isn't royal protocol, that is just being a solid partner and a great parent. The haters can keep typing out their trashy articles and trying to spin every little detail, but they are completely wasting their breath. When you've got a rock-solid foundation, a clear purpose and genuine love, all that outside chatter is just background noise. Harry and Meghan keep moving forward, staying low-key and doing the real work, leaving the media holding nothing but empty rumours. They are completely untouchable when they stay united like this, period. Are you guys riding with Team Sussex and loving how they protect their peace against all the odds? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button, and make sure you hit subscribe so you never miss a video. Thank you all for watching, supporting the channel, and keeping it real. I am your host, Miles. Catch you in the next one.